What is up, killers? Kev here, and today back with a brand new episode of Skyrim Special Edition. Today we are going to be looking at 10 weapon mods within the game, but without further ado, guys,
Klavier's Razor coming in at 5.5 megabytes of a download. The blade comes in two variations. One is going to be a one-hander, and the other one, you guessed it, is going to be a two-hander. For this particular blade, all you need to do is head over to the forge, and you can pretty much rustle this one up absolutely beautifully. As you can tell, the models, meshes, and textures of the blade look absolutely gorgeous. I do believe that is going to be due to Billy Roo. Obviously, we covered one of the previous mods to do with that one, but overall, this weapon looks absolutely gorgeous, that is for sure. Berserk Black Swordman Armor. This one is coming at 20.1 megabytes of a download. This is going to be port of the Black Berserk Swordman's Armor. This one is going to be from the nexusmods.com. The armor is unique and has a steel arm with it, thus from the actual anime series to do with Berserk. The armor can be found and crafted underneath the steel category at the forge. The cape can be found at the tanning rack too. This one unfortunately is going to be for males only. Fancy bows coming in at 20.7 megabytes of a download. All bows have the same damage as vanilla bows within the base game, but generally faster but slower bows, acid and blood bows, they are going to be the slower ones, and at the speed of a 0.75, which is equal to the vanilla dragonbone bow. All bows can be enchanted as well, and the perks of them are going to be allocated within your skill tree to the ones that they are going to be within the forge. Fire bows, lava bows, winter bows, ruby bows, sapphire bows, acid bow, and blood bow are going to be a few to name off of this beautiful list. The majority of them are going to be within orcish, dwarven, ebony, and some are going to be in dragon too. One of them is going to be located within the steel category. Now I might do a mini mod showcase on this particular mod just because I do love the variety that you do get with this particular mod. You can also make greater versions of each bow except the acid bow and blood bow. You will need dragon armor perk to do that, and the stats of the greater bow is equal to the vanilla dragon bows within the games. The gazing eye coming in at 16.9 megabytes of a download. To find this particular blade, you will not have to forge it, you will not have to do a quest, but you will have to travel to the highest point in the map, climb the throat of the world near a old pickaxe and some ore, and you will be able to find this one lodged within the ground. This is going to be a sub mod to a slightly larger one that we will be covering on the channel very shortly, if not already have, but this particular one is part of the Kingdom Hearts series, and it is going to be sort of created through somewhat of the key blade. Not too sure of the information itself, but there is a little bit of a backstory if you guys want to read upon that does tie it with that lore and the Skyrim lore too. Overall, I couldn't believe that this was going to be a one-handed blade. I personally thought it was going to be a two-hander. This would be absolutely sick if you could take it in, well, you can take it in to the cheat room and duplicate it. Two of these bad boys would look absolutely awesome. Standalone Katanas coming in at 18.5 megabytes of a download. This is going to be a port from the nexusmods.com. This is going to contain the low poly models that are going to be coming in at 2K textures, but nonetheless, all of that scooched to the side. These are still two beautiful looking swords added via this particular mod. Personally, I do find these great, and they're really accessible and easy to get to. Head over to a forge and you can pretty much rustle these up. As you can tell on screen now, this is the way of getting them. I'm not too sure if this is going to be in Skyforge, but I personally found it within the standard forge for less than no requirements and materials to make. Overall, I think they're very nice indeed. Some of the blades are going to be based off certain things, but just generally the hilts are going to be my favourite thing about this particular mod. Dawnbreaker Requiem. This one is coming in at 36.9 megabytes of a download. Take the mighty Dawnbreaker and you'll purge corruption from the darkest corners of the world and pretty much Kobe that straight in the bin. This one has been stepped aside and this one has pretty much gone straight on top. The requirements for this one is going to be the Daedric Smithing perk, can be found within the forge under the miscellaneous section to do with that, and you can pretty much muster up yourself this beautiful looking blade. Not only does the hilt look absolutely stunning, but the blade itself has been engraved and embroidered with something really nice indeed. It just looks really cool. Someone didn't want to opt for the basic leather wrap or the flat grip to do with this particular hilt. They've pretty much gone full out. It looks really insane. Guys, you can upgrade this one, and as well, it is having its own enchantment, which I've got a special animation to do with my Xbox One load order. If you want to check that out, video is going to be pinned within the comment section below. Won't go over that too much. It's pretty much covered it every single sort of video we have done, if not covered it in a few different videos. But yeah, as you guys can see, this blade looks absolutely stunning. Drifter's Arsenal. Wowee, where to begin with this particular one? Well, let's start with the download size of 34.7 megabytes of a download. A collection of absolute beautiful pieces added within the game. This definitely isn't going to be lore friendly, but it's a new spin to be added and implemented via a mod into your particular game. So I'm just going to give you my own variant of this one. I'm not going to be reading the description whatsoever. I'm pretty much going to be eyeballing it, freeloading it. But this one is really cool. You get a selection of blades which look very familiar. I'm not too sure what game it is going to be from. The requirements for this one is going to be loot, sort of a leveled loot adder. I'm not too sure what that is. I didn't actually have that whatsoever. I pretty much just jumped on this as soon as possible and wanted to try it out. And again, placed within the load order, no particular placement for this particular one. Fired up the game, went into the forge, and pretty much made all of these, and they worked absolutely fine. There was no sort of issues whatsoever. I didn't crash, no sort of texture issues or glitches, and it was really fun indeed. So you get a selection of pistols, as you can tell on screen now, which look really, really sick, and you can dual wield with these, but the sort of description of the mod author does recommend that you equipped one and with the other hand, aka equipped in your right hand, and with your left hand leave blank, so you can pretty much zoom and aim down as you would looking down the crosshair of a normal barreled gun. But yeah, you get a few different variants of guns, and obviously two different variations of the sword. They're going to be looking exactly the same, but obviously this one will be a one-handed and a two-handed variant. Again, not too sure if you can throw these on the grindstone to upgrade them, but yeah, you get a collection of things to do with this mod. Definitely worth grabbing. It was a lot of fun to pretty much mix and match. You can have a blade and a gun, you can have two different guns, you can have two of the same guns, but yeah, you can pretty much mix and match, and honestly, it was an incredibly fun mod to pick up. We'll be adding into the favorites. I might do a separate video on this, probably a mini mod showcase, but I really want to implement it into something else to give you the sort of full look of this particular mod. I spent a lot of time faffing around with this particular mod, a lot of time just going around and testing it out with various other different things, not only sort of the animation side of things, how it worked, the visuals of this particular one. Yeah, definitely could make a big video out of this one, as it was a really enjoyable mod. The Manslayer, coming in at 115 kilobytes of a download. This adds standalone weapon from Dark Souls 2, i.e. it being the Manslayer. You can craft everything under the steel category, and yes, you will need the requirement of the steel smithing perk to create these blades, and two different variants of this particular one. One is going to be a one-handed, which you can obviously, of course, double up, and the second one is going to be a two-handed variant of this particular blade, and all can be thrown on the grindstone and upgraded at any given time. Are the weapons overpowered? No, they're slightly better than steel. I think they work very nicely indeed. They're not out of the blue, and personally they fit in very nicely with the game, aka being somewhat lore friendly within the game. Dark Souls obviously has that sort of medieval armored theme, and obviously all the weapons correspond with that, and sort of both games, Skyrim and Dark Souls, kind of sync very nicely together. So this is a really nice addition. If you're looking for a new katana with added into the game for such an incredibly low download size, this might be a heavy pick to pick up. Samurai Sword Collection, coming in at 32.3 megabytes of a download. This one I do believe is going to be another port from the nexusmods.com, as it has a referral to the permissions to head over from that website into this one on the Bethesda website. Based off the standalone sword mod, the Samurai Soul, this one is adding all of the collections of the mod author Samurai Swords into one bundle. The mod author has made approximately, I do believe, 6 blades within themselves, which is really nice indeed. For these particular ones, you do get like Jade Dragon, Rain Cloud, there's loads of other different ones, Shakaru Blade, Samurai Soul, and they all can be in the variant of one-handed or two-handed too. Now, some of the models, meshes, and textures for me are going to be a little bit hit and miss. Some of them are going to be looking very
out of the ordinary, shall we say. Not bad at all, but out of the ordinary. But some, on the other hand, like the Samurai Soul, is looking very, very clean. This particular blade, the models, meshes, and textures are going to look so clean. It's very realistic and high poly mesh for this particular one with the textures. It just looks so goddamn clean. Guys, you get so many variants of particular blade with this particular one. You really can't go wrong. There's going to be a flavor for everyone out there. I guarantee it. But for all of these ones, you can craft them at the forge for practically nothing. So if you are looking for maybe a bizarre piece, aka a very unique samurai sword to be added within the game, or if you want to go for an old classic that just looks absolutely badass, this particular mod is definitely one to pick up and not to be shied away from. Again, with a collection of samurai swords, a bundle of 6 in the variants of one-handed and two-handed for that download size is definitely a steal. Lika Dragontail Scimitar. This one is coming in at 5.2 megabytes of a download. A fantasy scimitar that has been added and wanted into the community. This one has popped up and now covering it within your game. This is going to be a one-handed version also as well. It looks absolutely beautiful. The main file itself actually uses a 2K/1K texture scattered around the blade, each different corresponding pieces. This blade can be made at the forge and it requires the steelsmithing perk and a quicksilver ingots to craft and to improve. Overall, I think it's very nice indeed. The blade itself has got that beautiful engraving going through, a little bit of blood spats, and the hilt or the handle itself is very nice indeed. It just fits in really nicely. If you're playing a red guard or maybe a crazy warrior and you do want these particular sort of scimitars within your arsenal, this is going to be a great one to pick up and try. It looks absolutely awesome and probably would actually fit with any class, if I'm perfectly honest. I think of it now, maybe a warlock class of this would look really cool, and you can enchant this blade as well. So guys, that's the end of this episode. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, I would very much appreciate a like on the video. Click that subscribe button right next as well. There is going to be a little bell icon. If you click that, you will get a notification in some way, shape or form when I upload a video to the channel. But until the next one guys, Killerkev here and Killerkev out.